Racing on Thursday takes place out at the Vaal, and 8 races on the program. Race number 1 will be the start of the bipod. 12:35 is the off time. 1200 meters. It is a maiden plate for fillies and mares, and it is a work riders maiden plate that will get the day started for us. Joining me on the line is Alistair Cohn. And Alistair, how are you doing?
Hi, Raheel. Yep, all good, thank you. Nice little card at the Vaal on Thursday. As you'd expect, Saturday Turfentine probably looks a little bit more appetizing, but there might be one or two that we can look closely at on this Thursday card at the Vaal. I think the first port of call to report to punters is that I think low number draws down the straight will be favoured. The false rail on the inside is set at 0 and the outside set at 10 metres, so that generally means the lower the number, the bigger advantage it should be. Let's see if it plays out that way. But all good on my side. I hope that I find you and all the viewers and all the punters well, and maybe it's another winning day. We got right on Saturday, but it looked like everyone got right on Saturday, so hopefully we can just continue that momentum.
Absolutely. Race 1, number 10, Cyber Spirit, is a scratch-in. Favourite here is number 11, Palace Dancer, trading at 6 to 10. Penicillium Monkawa and Tony Peter teaming up. Now, this filly ran a very nice race on debut, despite going off at 33 to 1 in the market, with stablemates a lot more fancied. She was second, beaten a length, and with that run under the belt, she should prove hard to beat.
She should do, Raheel. Obviously, the high number draws a little bit of a question mark, but it is a very shallow field. She comes in one place after the scratching. Pelicilla Monkawa and Tony Peter have been a formidable combination in the work riders ranks for many years up in the high veld. I like Palace Dancer first run. This horse is actually owned by a good friend of mine, Amos and Kosi. He never misses a race meeting, does Amos, certainly not a Turfentine anyway. And I think it's lovely that he's got, I'm sure, a small share in Palace Dancer, but a share all the same, and living the dream and rubbing shoulders with some of the rich and famous. So good on Amos. We'd love it if number 11 Palace Dancer were to win the race. She looks the right horse. Her debut to Francillion was excellent. She actually moved up a winner. Just got a little bit sort of green underneath Calvin Habib over the final 100 metres. That may have cost her really challenging Francillion. I think Francillion's above average. I think she'll win a couple of races. So I think that all sets up number 11 Palace Dancer in good stead. She'll be wiser for the run under the belt, and she should take all the beating. I did consider number 1 Kit Kat Katie, a 25-start maiden who's ridden by Anati Fernie. He's been the top work rider on the half vault in the work riders races and those meetings, those 3 meetings through the year that are provided for work riders. Anati generally does well. He's Mike de Kock's right-hand man, so I highly doubt he's been out to the Vaal to ride Kit Kat Katie and work for Philip Labuskakny, but Anati is naturally gifted, drawn towards the inside, but has got, a length and a half to turn around with Palace Dancer, so I find that hard to see, especially with the improvement factor. So the bipod is my suggested bet. Banker number 11 Palace Dancer. I expect her to win, and I think she'll be chased home by number 1 Kit Kat Katie.
All in with number 11 Palace Dancer in race number 1. We move along to race number 2. This is the start of the place accumulator, maiden plate, 1200 meters. The trip 10 past 1 is the off time, and here it is Blizzard Snow that tops the boards at 6 to 10. Calvin Habib for Tony Peter. It's 3 to 1 about number 4, 8 to 1 the 9 horse, and then it's 16 to 1 and better ball those. Now this is another race where Tony's got the favourite, and this filly ran a nice race on debut. She was second behind musical score, and it was the first timers that dominated, running first and second. Natural improvement. She should prove tough to oppose in this contest.
Yeah, she is my top choice here, Raheel, especially the fact that she's a 3-year-old filly taking on majority colts and geldings, so she gets a very valuable swing at the weights with 55.5 kilos on her back. As I mentioned when she made her debut, the race form was awful in that race, and it looked like one of the first timers would win, and obviously there was a word out for musical score, who didn't let the team down. Blizzard Snow is out of a mare called Blizzard Bell, who at one stage held the 1,000-metre record in South Africa. At Fairview, there was a hurricane blowing behind her. She was trained by Vet Bremner. I think she was ridden by Lyle Hewitson on that day, was Blizzard Bell. Her record was beaten about a month or two later by a horse called Scandal, trained by Cornet Speeds. But all the same, there's a lot of speed in that pedigree, and I thought maybe 1,200 metres could just test her a little bit, but that clearly wasn't the case at all. So, as you say, with the run under the belt, she should come on to no end, and she should take all the beating. I do have time, though, for number 4, Bus Stop in Hounslow. I didn't like him at all last time when going off at 13 to 10 when there was support for him. He was well beaten by Forster Dew. Forster Dew ran okay race over the weekend, but Bus Stop and Hounslow at least is knocking on the door and hinting that there could be a win to come soon. Diego de Gavea teams up with Grant Maroon. He's steadily finishing close to number 4, Bus Stop and Hounslow. So if not winning, I think that he'll just simply run second. So there's a good opportunity to double up in the bar pot. 12 and 4 in order of preference. I've gone both of them in the bar pot. Just watch the market on the match at pair. I wouldn't know which one's preferred from a breeding perspective. Over 1,200 meters, none of them, because I think both of them will eventually get a trip. Certainly on the dam side, there's a lot of stamina there. Maybe number 9, Parabellum at a stretch. Interesting that both of them were gelded on the same date. So you can see Match had called the vet and said, I've got horses for you to geld, and he obviously did the deed on both days. But just watch the market on those two, just in case there's a little bit of interest there. But they'll have to be quite good to turn over number 12.
Yep, let's know the top pick in race number 2. Moving along to race number 3 next up, and the third race will be the start of the pick 6. This is a maiden plate over 1,200 meters. 13:45 is the off time. Favorite here is number 5, Antonio Gotti at 5-2, along with number 10, Mizzen Sword. Bad Medicine is at 3-1, 7-1, Spy Story 8-1, and Better Ball those. Now, Alistair, this is not an overly strong race that gets the pick 6 underway, and there's always that potential for a bit of an upset in these type of races, but what's your thoughts?
Yeah, this is the first leg of the pick 6, as you mentioned, and it's got "Be Careful" written all over it, this race. I've gone 4 horses in the bipot, and I'm hoping to survive. There are traps all over this race. That's the way I see it. Interesting, Antonio Gaudi's favourite, because Mizzen Sword got him beaten, fine by a quarter of a length, and Mizzen Sword might have a little bit more scope to improve with less mileage on the clock. So I make both of them chances, although I wouldn't get carried away. Number 2, Alone Time, I think could represent the value in the race, especially with an inside draw. If Blizzard Snow runs well just half an hour earlier, that'll enhance the chances of number 2, Alone Time. As mentioned, there was no race runner form in that race, but Alone Time, I think, was the first race runner home. Fine, beaten 10 lengths by Musical Scores. Hardly anything to get excited about, but neither is this field. So I think number 2, Alone Time, could represent a little bit of each way value. Again, I wouldn't be taking the price on him to win. If he did win, then I'd be quite annoyed with myself, but I couldn't bring myself to do it anyway. But I think he's a chance all the same. And number 7, Bad Medicine, also has to be included. Samago Kamalo rides for Johan Janssen van Vuren. Well beaten on debut by Buffalo Storm Cody, who would be a cut above this field, and obviously better than a second start when beaten 11 lengths by Wahid, who again is much better than this field. He might have found the right opening to run a better race. Whether 9 lengths to Buffalo Storm Cody translates into a winning chance here, I do have my doubts, but I do think he won't be too far behind the winner if he doesn't win. So those are the 4 horses that I think have a winning chance in the pick 6. Funny enough, I'd also include the Yenny Grey runner, number 4, Spy Story. Horrible last run, but his anti-penultimate start to French Bolt. Wolf Mountain was in that race, finished second, and Wolf Mountain would toy with the opposition. So there is at least 1 or 2 runs to make a case for number 4, Spy Story, but obviously consistency is not a strong point. So I'd put him into the pick 6, but my bar pot numbers here are 2, 5, 7, and 10.
2, 5, 7, and 10 are the numbers in race number 3 for the bar pot for Alistair. Moving along to race number 4, Fillies and Mares 79 handicap, 2,000 meters a trip, 2 is the off time, and it is a start of jackpot 1. Now, when we have a look at the market for the 4th race, favorite here, number 1, Avalon Toast at 22-10, I Am Regal 4-1, Ariel's Jet 4-1, Solo Diva at 6-1, and then it is 8-1. And a Better Ball those. Now, Avalon Toast has certainly hit the straps of late, despite being beaten by Indian Ocean last time out. And just to touch on that run, Alistair, how on earth did Indian Ocean get home with 64.5 on the back? Pure stratum. I mean, when you see those type of horses running with such a big weight, you think to yourself they've almost got zero chance. But she got home last time out, and she won quite a solid race.
Yeah, she bluffed me completely. How did she win? Well, I think you answered that. Just pure genius in the saddle from Striker to get Indian Ocean home on that occasion. It was beautiful to watch. You'd never want to go out of your play. You're always a little bit bitter when you do. But when you see performances like that, you kind of doff your hat and say, right, I got it wrong. Stratum's a genius, and you kind of move on to the next race. That form is obviously key here because Indian Ocean beat Avo on Toast by 6 lengths, and in the same start, Indian Ocean beat I Am Regal by 2.5. The pure mathematics show that I Am Regal should stay ahead of Avo on Toast, but then we do have the Stratum factor. Stratum is 1 from 1 on Avo on Toast, but the kicker in this race, Raheel, is the pace or the lack thereof in this race, and I'm not sure that it's going to suit Avo on Toast. So any supporters of Avo on Toast, and I am one of them, I've got her in my play, but we are reliant on Pia Stratum here, and that's pretty much all we got, because they're going to crawl. She looks like she's best suited to coming from off the pace. I don't see Stratum doing anything different to what he did on the 4th of June when riding her patiently, and she came with a strong run at the end of the day. As you say, she's hit her strap. She's in the form of her life. She's gone up a few pounds on the basis of 2 wins and a consistent 4th to Indian Ocean. She's gone up 9 pounds in the space of 3 runs. Maybe that hinders her slightly, but I do believe that she's capable of at least getting close under the mark of an 80. But I think number 2, I Am Regal's overdue. She's run with better, much like Avo on Toast has, but I just think that the weight turnaround, the advantage that she has over Avo on Toast will hold true here. Paul Matchett trains, Muzi Yenny takes her on. Muzi rode her last time where she was just literally chasing shadows behind Indian Ocean. That is a worry, that she was in receipt of 10.5 kilos and couldn't get past a much better horse, yes, but still couldn't get the job done. But I think that she's consistent enough and reliable enough to make her a top choice and a bar pot inclusion. 1 and 2 are my numbers. I'll tell you why I've sidestepped the others. Ariel's Jet was given a very hard ride to beat Mighty Goddess. I don't think the extra furlong will suit, and I also think that she might have just she had a little bit taken out of her, and also Mighty Goddess made no show a week earlier. Silver Flare, that form is not standing up as well as I would have hoped. I know there's been one direct winner. I actually prefer the stable companion, number 7, Solo Diva. I think she'll finish in front of Silver Flare here. That's just the way that I read it. Sneak preview, complete experiment over 2,000 meters. That's either going to be duck or no dinner. Maybe I put her into the pick 6, but I just think the most solid propositions here are numbers 1 and 2.
Yeah, it certainly does look that way. They bring the best form to the table. They've been running against stronger, and this does look to be the right type of race for them. And perhaps they could run first and second, and that could be the exacta here in race number 4. Avo on Toast 22-10, 4-1 I Am Regal. Let's see how they go in race number 4. Next up will be race number 5, and this is a Feliz 87 handicap over 1,400 meters. 14:55 is the off time, and this will be the start of Jackpot 2. Favorite number 8, Willie Meet Again, 22-10 into 16-10. Mary Reed at 4-1. Blue Horizon 9-2. 5-1 Alabama Anna, and then it is 12-1 and Better Baldos. Now, Willie Meet Again, the manner in which she won last time out was very, very encouraging, and I know that on debut she went off at 20-1, but she took on winners and she was best off the rest. But Alistair, this filly looks to be quite decent, and I wouldn't be surprised if she were to win straight out the maidens.
Funny enough, I've left out my bar pot, but I definitely wouldn't do that in the pick 6. With a lightweight, she could be very well placed by Lucky Hoodalakis. I've got a query about her over this trip, funny enough, Raheel. I know she won like she'll get the trip. She won like she'll get a mile, maybe even more. But the William Longswords do tend to bluff one. But she is obviously at her home course. That's going to be an advantage. We know that Lucky's formidable at the Vaal. I know there have been 2 direct winners out of her form line, but again, the maidens this time of year are particularly weak, and it wouldn't have taken much for the horses that came out and won, to come out and do the job. So I'm a bit 50-50 on number 8, Willie Meet Again, despite having a lot of respect for her. I'm taking a chance here and sidestepping her in the bar pot, as well as number 1, Blue Horizon, who ran her best race ever last time, but on the back of a huge penalty for being a loser, and a justified penalty as well, for being a loser behind Where's the Party and beating horses a lot better than this. I'm not sure she can overcome that. So this is what I've done. I've gone with the other Lucky Hoodalakis runner, who's got Craig Zaki on board. Don't read anything into the jockey arrangements. Craig simply can't ride 52.5. I'd love to know which way he would have gone. But this is Alabama Anna's home. She's at her best down the Vaal straight. 4 of her wins have come at the Vaal. She's 2 from 4 with 2 places over the course and distance. There have been experiments to take her over a mile. She's done very nicely. She is okay at the Turfentine inside track, but she's just best here. So I think number 3, Alabama Anna, is going to be a huge chance. She'll be covered up. She'll be doing her best work late, and she'll have a good say here. And I think Soma's runner perfectly in at the weights of 52. Of a rating of 72 in this fillies and mares 87 handicap. She obviously gets half a kilo on the weight for age scale. That puts her in with 52. Yards and form, jockeys flying at the moment. The last run to Across the Pond was good. Across the Pond came out and franked that form again. I think that she's probably in a better place than number 8, Willie Meets Again, just being a 4-year-old with half a kilo less. I know that obviously Willie Meets Again's got a lot more progress to come, but I think number 9, Mary Reid, is a huge player here, and I'd actually make her my top choice over number 3, Alabama Anna. I've got the other Soma horse, number 7, Cashier Wazulgan, as well, under Chase Morjan, simply on the basis that she was used to keep the race alive last time out when Fiery Pegasus looked to be a good thing. Andy's girl had her on the ropes, but I think that Gallop would bring her on a lot, number 7, Cashier Wazulgan. She can be dangerous on her day, so I've got her in as well. So 3, 7, and 9 for me in race number 5.
Yep. Sidestep in numbers 1 and 8, as you had from Alistair, and let's see how number 9, Mary, does go. She certainly does make a bit of appeal on her last 2 starts, and she could certainly be the one to beat in race number 5. Moving along to race number 6, 1400 meters, fillies and mares 67 handicap, 3:30 is the off time, and the 6th race on the program, we've got Willow Wild at the top of betting boards here, 28-10. Risky Business 3-1, 9-2 Northern Kitten, 6-1 One Religion, and then it is 10-1 and Better Bar those. Now a lot of these names towards the bottom of the boards here are horses that have sort of been battling and have just won their maiden. So it's going to be interesting to see how this race does unfold. Adisla, what's your thoughts?
I don't really have many here, Raheel. This is a very hard race. I've gone 1, 2, and 6, but there's no shortage of winning chances. I've left out number 3, Willow Wild. She's got to go into the pick 6, but this is why I've done what I've done. Risky Business, obviously the key horse, having won 3 in a row. Again, the handicapper gave her £4 for her last win over Kalida. She may have won a little bit easier than the margin suggested. In fact, that was probably her most authoritative win, although not by margin, but it was a huge step in the right direction yet again from the informed daughter of Kurari out of the great mare Dance with the Devil. But with her being the key horse, there's a lot of form here where Can't Catch Me, who has beaten a short head, has her absolutely stone cold at the weights. But I mean, Can't Catch, I mean, that's on one run on the 25th of July, but her last run was so bad, Can't Catch Me. So can you catch her right? I don't know. Together Again, number 6 on the card, is one horse that I've got in the bar pot that was mentioned 1, 2, and 6. Again, there's a huge swing at the weights for a 3 1/4 length beating with Risky Business and Together Again. How many more steps forward can number 2 Risky Business take? It's not impossible that she's got another win to come. It really isn't. She's still off a 67 rather. It sounds a little bit out of place for a filly that's won 3 on the road. That's how well St. John Gray has placed her. So she's a hard horse to read in terms of where she stands and when the handicap is eventually going to get the better of her. On that reason that I've just given, I've got number 6 Together Again in the play because she's got a number 1 draw. Calvin Abibrad's for Yard Fisser. The Fisser Yard's going along nicely. Again on the last run to In a Fix. She looks like she's got a little bit to do with Tibetan Voyage. I think Tibetan Voyage actually came out fresh last time and maybe ran above herself, so I'm a little bit dicey on that. And then we've got the more established number 1, One Religion, who's dropping in trip to 1400 meters here, and also dropping in grade. She's been dropping in grade for quite a while. She's got Gavin Lorena on board, and if she comes up fresh and firing off a 107-day layoff, she's also got some sort of say. So very uncomfortable with the race, Raheel. I hope I've got enough horses in the 3, 1, 2, and 6, but yeah, just hoping to get through that race. And to be fair, it doesn't get much easier in the last 2 races, although those races are stronger.
You don't fancy Willow Wild, Ali?
I've got time for her. She's in my pick 6, obviously beating Across the Pond. My issue with Willow Wild, and sadly for bipot place accumulator pick 6s and jackpots, is that she is not the freest of movers on the way down to the start. She's been scratched by the vet before. Interesting that Craig Zaki is not riding number 3 Willow Wild. He's gone with number 8 Ashanti Sword, who he rode last time out. And I know that Craig would obviously have first call with Lucky, even though Chase won on this filly last time out. I don't think she's the most straightforward around. So if she goes down fluently and looking a picture, then I'll be scrambling to cover with number 3, Willow Wild. But I know that she's not the most straightforward around.
Yeah, she could be one to keep an eye on here, but numbers 1, 2, and 6, the numbers here in race number 6 for Alistair. Moving along to race number 7, the penultimate race on the card, 4:05 is the off time. This is an MR 98 handicap, 1200 meters the distance. And here your favorite is Black Egret, 5-2 into 18-10. Sal Bomber, 5-1. Longsword, 5-1. 6-1 Open Highway. And then it is 8-1 and Better Bar those. Now, Black Egret, he ran some nice races here in KZN during on Hollywoodbets Durbanville July Day and Whirlpool Gold Cup Day, second to Chocolate Soldier, and then fifth to King of the Gauls, in a form line that we've seen franked just over the weekend with Luna Cam coming through to win. And he gets Pierce Strader, 58.5, 1200 meters, absolutely spot on, and he's the one that sets the standard here.
Yeah, top choice of that, there's no doubt. He was simply beaten by a better horse last time in the form of King of the Gauls, but it was an admirable run from a deep draw where he was left to make up ground and did finish off the race best according to the official time of 22.8 over the last 400 meters. So there was a lot to like about that run, and he's definitely got the ability and got it between the ears to win. So he is undoubtedly my top choice. The fact that he hasn't won in a year, that's a little bit of a question mark, it has to be said, but I think back home he's a solid proposition, especially with Striker on board. But there are a few horses here who interest me, Raheel, that I'd back up certainly for trifectas, quartets, swingers, etc. I think number 6, Passage of Power, one of your golden oldies, with Gavin Lorena on board, I think is one that represents a lot of value. Also hasn't won in a while, and I'm not going to tip him on top here. I'm not going to suggest that he is a winner in waiting, but I like how I don't know whether Fabian Habib has sort of experimented in the wrong races to put him in the right race. His local debut to Mount Pilatus was excellent. I'd make Mount Pilatus a runner in this race if he were here. And then running in a Pinnacle last time, that was just never his chop. But he ran with Grade 1 winners and all sorts of top horses last time out behind Quantum Theory. I mean, Anfield's Rocket was in that race, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And he acquitted himself nicely yet again to number 6, Passage of Power. So whether it's sort of placing him in the wrong races to get a gauge of him, to get him into the right race, I don't know. But first run in a handicap in a long time, first run in a handicap in Joburg with Gavin Lorena on board for an inform yard. 6, Passage of Power makes a lot of appeal to me, certainly from an each-way perspective, or a place perspective rather. And then I think number 9, Open Highway, off a lightweight. This is going to be a good test for Open Highway. It's his first foray into this type of MR 98 level. The best company that he ran in was 91, and he wasn't disgraced behind Max the Magician. And I think that this is his chop distance-wise. He's won once over 1,200 meters, got an inside draw, got Musi on board. I reckon Musi would have got off last time and said, put him back to 1,200 meters, Fani. I think we'll see some fireworks, and I think off a lightweight, he's dangerous enough as well. But no doubt that they've got to beat number 2, Black Egret. But they're definitely two horses here that I think can make us a little bit of money holding hands with the top choice, number 2.
Yeah, I like your thinking with number 6, Passage of Power, 8-1 the current price, and perhaps that could be a nice each-way play in race number 7, as opposed to 18-10 about number 2, Black Egret. Moving along to race number 8, this is an MR 83 handicap, 1,200 meters, the trip, 16:40 the off time, final race on the card, and your favorite in the lucky last is horse number 1, Purple Ninja Turtle at 18-10. Prince of Kildare 7-2, 6-1. Vava Vegas Clarkson Written in Stone 7-1, and Better Bar those. Now there's two horses here that I know have been on your radar for forever. Written in Stone. Firstly, did you get him right last time out at 20-1 in the market when he beat Jet Cat? And then secondly,
No.
Yeah, Prince of Kildare, a few rounds back when we spoke, you mentioned that he's threatening to win, but you're hoping that he runs an okay race and we can get onto him next time out at a bigger price. But he's been holding form well, and yeah, I don't think we're going to get a bigger price anytime soon.
No, we're not going to get a price, and he's undoubtedly my top selection here. It's funny, Raheel, how you look at a race and you look at a card and you immediately draw conclusions, and you get to a 1,200 meter straight at the Vaal at the end of winter and sort of say, well, that's not really the race for me. I'm going to or when I'm structuring my play, I'm going to go with a bipod because I don't necessarily like the look of the last race. But once I submitted my selections, had a good look at everything after Hollywoodbets Durbanville on Tuesday, I formed an opinion that this is an absolute two-horse race. And my top choice is number 6, Prince of Kildare. Musi Yenny takes around, ran on a graduation plate last time where he had absolutely no right to be there. And he actually ran slightly above his rating behind Lead the Charge. His form and handicaps prior to that was solid. I'd like to believe that his run to Southern Blaze would give him a winning chance. I'd like to believe that his run to all sorts of horses on his form line give him a winning chance. And I think that he's got his best opportunity probably ever of getting his second career win under the belt. And I think that he's in the right place here. Number 1, Purple Ninja Turtle, for me, is the only horse who can beat him. Wesley Mowing takes a ride for Father Waishong. His penultimate start over Longsword, where he beat Longsword. Longsword was very, very short price favourite. Was a surprise coming back from a layoff, but showed his mettle there to number 1, Purple Ninja Turtle. And he ran into a little bit of trouble last time behind Vegas High Rise. Thought it was a fair run. I thought it was actually a good run, considering it's not going to be easy giving 8 kilos away to number 6, Prince of Kildare. Hence, I'm in the corner of number 6. But if I do play a pick 6, I will definitely load up races 6 and 7. But I'm undoubtedly holding this race to 2 runners, numbers 1 and 6. Clarkson, a horse I know well. He's a lovely son of Atto, one of the most handsome horses around. He'll always be dangerous down the Vaal Straight, but I do think he'll be caught out by 1,200 meters. Although Jared Penny gets on quite well with the son of Atto, I give him a place chance. And then good old Written in Stone. Sure, from 89 starts, 5 wins. I've probably been on him 82 times and not once when he's won. So that's the story I have with him.
Yeah, Written in Stone, 20-1 winner last time out, beating Jetcat. That was an exactor to end off for the day out at the Vaal on the 8th of August. But let's see how he goes with his confidence restored and whether he'll be able to back it up. But number 6, Prince of Kildare, no doubt the top pick here in race number 8. Moving along to the suggested bet, and Alistair will take us through his suggested bet for racing out at the Vaal on Thursday. And Alistair, take it away.
Thanks, Raheel. So 12:35 is when the Barpod gets underway. Open up with a banker in the form of number 11, Palace Dancer. By 4 and 12, Bus Stop in Hounslow and Blizzard Snow. Race 3, I don't like the start of the pick 6. Number 2, Alone Time. 5, Antonio Gaudi. 7, Bad Medicine. And 10, Mizzen Sword. I've definitely put number 4, Spy Story into the pick 6 as well at a bit of a price. By 1 and 2, Avo on Toast and I Am Regal. Then race 5, which is leg 5 of the Barpod. 3, Alabama. Anna. 7, Cashew Wazul. And 9, Mary Reed, and then 1, 2, and 6 in the final leg. 1, Religion, Risky Business, and Together Again. But that is a very, very dodgy race indeed.
Yep, that is the Barpod, and it all begins with the race with race number 1, a Work Riders Maiden Plate at 12:35. Alistair, thanks very much for your time. All the best. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Cheers, Raheel. Yep, it's going to be a busy week. Obviously, with a double header on Saturday, a lot going on at the moment. But it should be a good week, and the same to you and same to the viewers, and enjoy all the racing action.
All the best with racing on Thursday out at the Vaal. Hopefully you manage to find a few winners along the way.